Maritime transport is the backbone of global trade and economy as the world's population continues to grow, particularly in the developing countries. Low-cost and efficient maritime transport has an essential role to play in growth and sustainable development. Shipping helps ensure that the benefit of trade and commerce are more evenly spread. No country is entirely self-sufficient, and every country relies on maritime trade to sell what it has and buy what it needs. Much of what we use and consume in our everyday lives either has been or will be transported by sea in form of raw materials, components, or finished articles. Welcome. I'm glad you are part of today's edition on Maritime Update. I am Norma Obiaswalo. On a weekly basis, Maritime Update showcases activities in the maritime industry. The shipping industry has played an important part in the dramatic improvements in global living standards that have taken millions of people out of acute poverty. Yet the vast majority of people are unaware of the key role played by the shipping industry, which is largely hidden from view. This affirms the fact that shipping is indispensable to the world. In this episode, we will be looking at maritime transport and its importance to world trade, and the role of human capital development to optimally harness the enormous untapped potentials in the maritime sector. First, issues and developments that made news in the sector. Stay with us. Ahead of the Maritime Labour Convention 2006 review, NIMASA charges the International Labour Organization on geopolitical peculiarities. Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria threatens fresh strike over port roads. Now to the main stories. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency NIMASA, Dakuko Peterside, ahead of the International Labour Organization ILO meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, commended the ILO on the planned review of the Maritime Labour Convention MLC 2006, as he advised that considerations should be given to the peculiarities of the different geopolitical areas of the world in the various amendments. As he noted that after 10 years, the MLC 2006 is ripe for review to meet up with challenges of emerging trends. While addressing the participants at the Business African meeting on the sidelines of the 107th session of the ILO conference in Geneva, Switzerland, the NIMASA DG stressed the importance of human factors to successful shipping, stating that it is one of the most important elements in achieving competitive edge and safety in the maritime industry. Peterside also said that the maritime industry must partner with workers to develop strategies that will contribute to the development of human resources in the sector. He also said that the industry is capital intensive, and where safety is paramount, constant training and development of the sector's workforce must be taken seriously. This, he said, will ensure favorable competition in the international market, adding that the maritime industry could play a greater role in the economic growth of third world countries if the right investment is made in the sector. The Maritime Union of Nigeria, MWUN, has threatened to resume its suspended strike action, which they say may grant activities in the Lagos port if the federal government fails to rehabilitate the Tinkan Island end of the Oshodi-Apapa Expressway by the end of June. The MWUN had in February suspended its strike action after a conciliatory meeting between the union, Ministry of Transportation, Ministry of Power Works and Housing, and the management of Nigerian Port Authority with a pledge by the federal government to address the deplorable condition of the routes leading to the nation's ports. The President General of the Union, Adewale Adeyanju, has said that the government signed an agreement with the union to repair the Ijora-Apapa and Oshodi-Apapa Expressway before the end of the second quarter, but lamented that the road is still in a deplorable state. Adeyanju stated that the government, terminal operators, and importers are losing money due to the bad state of the roads, noting that the management of the Nigerian Port Authority (NPA) has said that they are ready to take up the repairs on the road, but yet to get a go-ahead by the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing. And that's Maritime News. Maritime Update continues shortly. Stay with us. If you have just joined us, this is Maritime Update reaching you courtesy of the Nigerian Shippers Council. For details, please reach the Nigerian Shippers Council on our email, website, or better still, text the number showing on your screen. Do you know that the Port Service Support Portal, PSSP, is a complaint management and service support solution aimed at addressing business-to-business transaction problems in the Nigerian ports? This is how to use it.
Welcome to Port Support Services, otherwise called the PSSP. The PSSP, as it is popularly known, is an initiative of the Nigerian Shippers Council created to serve the public better. Just to help you navigate the portal, first log on to the website www.pssp.ng. There you'll find the basic information about PSSP, information on partners of the project standard operating procedure of the partners of the PSSP, and frequently asked questions, contact information. With the PSSP of the Nigerian Shippers Council, members of the public will be able to make complaints using the complaint form, track the status of the complaint, and make inquiries or give a feedback using the contact form. To submit a complaint, open your web browser and type www.pssp.ng. The home page will load. Click on the Make a Complaint. The login page will display, but you will need to be registered on the portal to be able to submit a complaint. If it's the first time of submitting a complaint, click on either the Register button or the Register link. To register, you will need to apply your email address, display name and password. After completing these fields, you should click on the Register button. If you have previously created an account, simply log in by supplying your email address and password. After you have successfully logged in, you should see the complaint form. The system assumes you are the main complainant. The complaint form has 5 sections: complaint details, service provider details, event or service description, other details, complaint description. In addition, you will find a yes and a no button, and this is how it works. Using the yes or no button indicates you are complaining on behalf of a company. If you're complaining on behalf of someone, you have to give us their details by clicking on the Add Detail button, then click on the Next button. From the pop-up list, select the type of company your complaint is about from the agency list and select the company from the companies list.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now to the guest of the week. He is Engineer Ibukun Akinsoji. He is the ex-rector, Maritime Academy, Oron, Akwa Ibom State, and the ex-alternate permanent representation to the International Maritime Organization, IMO. In this interaction, he spoke on how addressing fundamental issues, policy implementation, structure, and human capacity development will ensure the repositioning of the maritime industry. Stay with us. As a maritime expert, what are the challenges you have identified that is hampering maritime development?
Neoma, it's a long thing to handle, and I think it's I can talk about it all day. But let me say generally that we are facing issues that has emerged over the years, gradual decay. So let me not pin it down in a manner that it look like the current regime is responsible for whatever it is. But if we don't face our challenges, we're not likely going to find solutions to them. There are challenges of fundamental issues. You need to take the right step to get to where you want to go. Policy-wise, in my experience, we are comfortable. structural wise, for policy execution, we are also reasonably comfortable. But the challenges are human elements, the capacity, the know-how, the right people in the right places, the arrangement of the structure within the structure itself.
Moving away from these identified challenges to repositioning the industry in line with global trends to attract huge vessels and enhance the nation's economy. So how do we move on?
How to move on? Based on what I've just said, I think all the agencies that have statutory functions should look at their functions, harmonize them in a way that they will identify the objectives of each of those functions and draw up strategic plan to give effect to those plans, in such a manner that they'll be able to have performance evaluation, accountability, the basics of good governance. All collectively, those who are going to be affected by the policy will be part of the process of execution of the policy. It must be collective, it must be inclusive, then there must be accountability, transparency, and rule of law. All these elements should be inherent in the plan that will carry forward their functions. That is what is done in any good country that has developed. You must have a strategic plan to execute your policy in such a manner that everybody that is involved has access to it and see it and know it.
That brings me to this question of human capital development. How can we improve our human capital development to optimally harness the enormous potentials in the sector?
We do. It's unfortunate that we are where we are concerning human capacity, because some of the people who were before us may not be comfortable in their graves. Because in 1979, when they established the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, that was when they thought about what you're asking me. And they thought they were putting in place solution to the problem. Because at that time, ports were enlarged, there was vision to buy ships, and ships were flying Nigerian flag. Offshore was attractive to international business. Even when cabotage came up, it was to develop us. And it specifically mentioned Nigerians crewing the vessels. This was a beautiful strategy for the country. But where did we go wrong? People who are supposed to be taking decisions were not taking decisions in a manner that will utilize the concept of having the academy. The academy is supposed to serve an industry, but the academy is not linked with the industry. It's on its own. There must be a policy that links the academy that is supposed to train specialized human element for the industry with the industry. It cannot satisfy the industry without that linkage.
So meaning that is the way to move forward or improve this.
That is
to
link the training institution with the industry is supposed to serve politically and with strong will. Is the first thing. I give you the reason why I'm saying that, apart from the general thing I have explained. Seafarer, for instance, cannot be trained without the industry. Because the institution that trains is not the one that certificates the trainees. It's not the one that certificates the trainees. It's another government agency that certify the product of this institution before the certificate can be recognized internationally. What I'm saying is academic trains, NIMASA is the one that gives certificate of competency. Just like a training school for drivers cannot give certificate for drivers to drive on roads. You must go to government agency that is certified to give those certificates. The same thing with shipping. Seafarer that is trained by any institution goes to a government agency that is authorized agency by government to issue certificate of competency, because the person that is certified fit for a particular job on a ship is representing the integrity of the nation.
Maritime is essential to world trade. Yeah. So how do we ensure efficiency in the maritime sector?
Well, if you want to partake in the world trade, it is essential to have efficient maritime transport system. But for you to have efficient maritime transport system to fit into the global chain, you need to do things in comparative manner to those who are already in the trade. Because maritime transport is a comparative advantage. If you are able to be more efficient than others, you will take your fair share of the cake in the global system. And that's why the standards and practices for maritime transport on global level must be complied with at national level. You will find out that most of the technical components of maritime transport, including safety, is handled by IMO, International Maritime Organization, of about 170 member states, almost represent almost all the maritime nations of the world. Any nation that has a coast is a member. So they form standards. The standards has to be complied with once it is adopted. Even those ones that are not adopted, that are maybe by a tacit agreement belonging to as part of another convention that you have acceded to, becomes mandatory for you. And unless you comply with those, you are not likely going to be considered to be efficient and enter the world trade. Maybe this is one of the reasons why Nigeria does not have a flag or a ship in the global. You imagine the kind of cargo we have. We have over 200 million tons of cargo per year, about 80 million general cargo, and we don't have a ship flying our flag. Maybe one of the reasons because we are not efficient enough. We are not following the standard enough. And apart from that, we don't even have incentive to make anybody who has money or any company that has money to buy a ship and fly our flag.
So what do you want to see in place to ensure safety in our waterways?
Safety in our waterways. I want to see that we comply, we lay a foundation upon which we can build a serene environment in our waterways. I know that we acceded to an international convention on for suppression of unlawful acts against ships in 1988. It came into force for us in 2004, and its counterpart protocol also came into force for us in 2015, which is unlawful act against structures in continental shelf. And those conventions, we have acceded to them, and they prescribe for us the procedure to take to avoid unlawful act against ships, which we call piracy or armed robbery or violence against ships. It prescribes procedure to prevent it. It prescribes procedure for if there is an unlawful act, the procedure to take in against such people that do it. And these are procedures that are recognized by international people. So if we domesticate it and we put structure in place, or we realign our structure to take the implementation of it, the world will be at a position to even assist us, sometimes free, because there will be technical cooperation, and they will understand our structure, they will understand that we are complying with the obligation, and there may be technical cooperation, and the whole world will come and assist us and ensure that, because they will understand how to assist. As it is, where we use civic law, they are hesitant unless you invite them, and when you invite them and they don't understand the procedure you are taking, because some of the procedures may not be admiralty, they may not know how to handle the situation. But if you put in place the International Convention, which you are party to, and you put in place the institutional framework that is clearly understood, you won't be on your own. And I think that's the foundation we should lay. Apart from that, in marine environments, where the transportation is the same, there should be a command where, for instance, in port, you have maybe 4, 5, 6 agencies that are crisscrossing with different boats, different commands. It's not the best. In developed countries, even United Kingdom didn't have Coast Guard before. They had our system, but when the trade in the marine environment became high enough, and they found out that there are proliferation of commands in the waterways, they harnessed themselves and have a command, Coast Guard, which is similar to England. It doesn't mean the immigration, port health, and drug enforcement, all these people will not exercise their statutory rights. They will, but there should be a command. There should be a way of harmonizing them and have a command. And in fact, that will reduce the resources you use, because all the resources each individual agencies are using can be harmonized
to achieve a better result.
To achieve better result, because they can. Arrest is the same; it's common, but the purpose, the reason for arrest may be different, and until you arrest, you cannot even find you cannot exercise your checks and balances. So I think these two issues will solve our problem. Organize and have a command. Secondly, have a fundamental instrument, that is understood by international people. Luckily enough, we have acceded to these conventions and they are enforced for us. Why don't we domesticate them and use the provision of those documents to handle the matter under a well-defined command for enforcement and a well-defined administrative procedure?
That will be a good place to anchor this chat. It's been Engineer Ibokun Akinsoji. He is the ex-rector, Maritime Academy Oron, and the ex-alternate permanent representative to International Maritime Organization. Many thanks for coming on Maritime Updates.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's a wrap on Maritime Update this week. I must thank you most kindly for being a part of this week's edition. Please send your comments and observation on the number showing on your screen, as we promise yet a better package next week. For more details, you can contact the Nigerian Shippers Council on our email, website, or text the number showing on your screen. You can also view this episode or any of our previous episodes on our YouTube channel, Maritime Update. When you visit, please subscribe and also click the notification button. I am Norma Obiaswalo. Until I come your way again, same time next week, it's goodbye.